Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have a puzzle here that has quite a lot going on. And with that said, um, we're going to have to get into these rules to see what is what. Because like I said, there really is a lot doing here. So let's get into it. Let's get into our rules and see how we can break all this stuff down. This one is called Second Breakfast by 99% Sneaky. And let's jump into this because it might take a minute to get through these rules. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. We've got digits in cells separated by a V, summed to 5. So here we have V's. These two must add to 5. Digits in cells separated by an X, summed to 10. I'm going to have to keep my place in here. There's no spaces. These two have to add up to 10. Digits in cells separated by a white dot are consecutive. So these guys and these guys are consecutive digits. Digits in cells separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. These are, of course, all Kropki dots. These guys are in 1 to 2 ratios. So whatever this one is half or double of it. Digit in a cell with outward facing arrows must be greater than all of its orthogonal neighbors. So there's two of those, these guys here. So whatever this digit is, it just has to be greater than all of those. And let's see what's next. Digits along arrows sum to the digit in the attached circle. So we have a couple of arrows here. These two digits, whatever they are, when you add them together, they'll equal to the circle. Digits in cages sum to the small number in the corner. So we have a couple of cages as well. These two digits must add up to 11. That's what that means. A digit in a white circle must appear once in the 4 surrounding cells. We've got a couple of these guys all throughout here. This means that the 6 and the 7 in this particular instance must appear in 2 of these 4 spaces. Now we got digits on purple lines form a non-repeating consecutive set in any order. Those are Renbans. So these are the purple lines here. Whatever these 3 digits are, they must all be consecutive, but they don't have to be in any particular order. And then finally, our last clue is adjacent digits along green lines must have a difference of at least 5. So that's our German whispers. These are the German whisper lines, the green ones. So whatever this digit is, this one has to be 5 away from it, this one has to be 5 away from that, etc., etc. So that's it. These are all very standard Sudoku variant rules, but there's a lot of them on the plate. So I'm not sure the exact reasoning for calling it second breakfast, other than maybe there's a lot of stuff going on, so could be it. We don't know. At least I don't know. But anyway, those are the rules. It took a couple minutes to get through them. Like I said, they're not complicated. There's a few of them. So with that said, link is going to be in the description below, like always. And let's get started on this thing, see if we can get it all figured out. Now, the hardest part I find with puzzles that have a lot of clues is where do you start? And it might be where we have multiple clues, different types of clues that are in strings or in a row. It also might just be something like this guy. This arrow is 3 cells, and it can't have a 2 on it. So we know the bare minimum this thing has to be is a 1, 3, 4, which is a minimum of 8. So I guess we'll just put that in here. Well, since we're here doing it. It also means that we have to have a 1 on here somewhere. I think we'll get back to that later. This guy here, I think let's start breaking this down to see what comes of it. We know in a V clue, we can only do 2 ways, 4, 1, and 2, 3. That's the only way you can make 5s in 2 cells. That's going to force this guy to be from 6, 7, 8, 9, but because of this, we know this can't be 6 or 7, which means this guy can't ever be 3 or 4, which means this guy can't ever be 1 or 2. Now, this is where we get to some nice spot, because we know you cannot put a 9 in a black Kropki duck, because you can't have or double a 9. So therefore, we can just get ourselves a digit here, and then we can kind of translate that through. So this has to be 2 to equal 10. This has to be 3 to equal 5. We get an early deep doot in the corner. That doesn't happen often. This 8 here means this has to be a 4. It has to be in a 1 to 2 ratio. This 4 now that it looks over here, must have a consecutive digit with it, must be 5. So we end up getting quite a few digits right off the bat here, or fairly quickly, not necessarily right off the bat. And what further does that do for us? We know that we're going to have all these are now out of play for these two clues. So you'd think that would be in some way useful to figure out what these can be. Now this clearly, so this digit has to be the higher digit of all the adjacent surrounding digits. So it can't be 1, obviously. It can't be 2, 3, 4, or 5. So it has to be 6, 7, or 9. And it could still be 6, actually. I was looking to see if there was a restriction there. Because if this is a 6, this clearly can't be 2, 3, 4, or 5 because of these guys. But this could be a 1 to allow this one to be lower. And if this is a 7, this could be 6 or 1. If this is a 9, this could be 1, 6, or 7. Now, what about this guy? We know it can't be a 1. We know it can't be 2, 3, 4, or 5. So it has to at least be 6. Could be 7 or 9 as well. There's quite a few ways to make all of those digits. So I don't know that we're getting this grouping to really help us out too much at the moment. Now, maybe it's a good idea to put this 1 in here and then look on this. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cell Renban line, so it has to have a 5 on it someplace. We also know that it can't have a 1 on it, because if it ever had a 1 on it, we'd have to put a 2 on it. There's nowhere to put a 2 on it. So we're looking at, so it doesn't have 1 or 2, and it must have 5. So if it doesn't have 1 or 2 and it must have 5, we're either looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or some variant that goes up from there. Now, let's take a look at those, because there may be things that are going to be pulled out of here that we can then use elsewhere. So we know it's got to be either 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let's just start there. We know none of these can be 3. We know none of these can be 8s. These can't be 6s or 7s. So what we've done is reduce this down to at least 4, 5, or 9, which I really hate doing this. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. Really, the point of this was to try to create something here. Now, if this has a 9 on it, it would have to be a 9, 5. And if this has a 4 on it, it has to be 4, 5. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't ever get to the 9. The 4, get from a 4 to a 9, or the opposite way, get from a 9 down to a 4. So there's always a 5 here. That's at least something to look at for that. Can we help reduce this guy any further? Because if this is an 8, let's say, we know it's 8 or 9. So it's either 1, 3, 4 to make 8, because we can't do 1, 2, 5. Or it is 1, 3, 5 to make 9. We can't do any other versions. We can't do 2, 3, 4. We can't do 1, 2, 6. Again, that's not great, but we can say that this is not 3 or 5. And what else? Just trying to look at some of these digits and how they might help us here. In do. Okay, kind of not stuck here, but I'm struggling, like I said at the beginning, struggling to find the next kind of step here. I guess maybe there is some So what do we say this had to be? It has to either be 1, 3, 4, or it has to be 1, 3, 5. So we can say there has to be a 3 in this. Now, if we say there has to be a 3 in this, there can never be a 3 on here. So we remove 1, 2, and 3 from this. So we're looking now at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 would be the next one in line, obviously. But we're saying that we have to have a 5, 6, 7, and an 8. So I think that just tells us this has to be 6, 7, 8, right? Yeah, so this just has to be a 6, 7, 8 triple. It's kind of interesting. And then this is just either a 4, 5 pair or a 5, 9 pair, and that finishes this all up. Okay? This obviously can't be an 8. We get rid of that. So what does that leave in here? Well, we have to put a 9 in one of these two. And then the other digit is going to be whatever's left over from here. Okay, there's a little bit. That's a little bit of something to work with. Now, can we rule out anything because of this, can we rule out anything maybe on this German whisper? Oh, we can actually make some assertions. Can't spit my words out properly. We have 3 high digits already. These 3 digits are all going to be either high or low. They can't be high, so they're going to have to be low, which means these are going to have to be high. So we know that these are the high digits, and these are all the low digits. And maybe there's something we can parse together there. We can. These cannot be 3 or 4. This can't be a 4. And these guys, we really can't reduce these too much, can we? Unless there's something that we get from this that's going to affect this down the line. Because this 15 is starting to get reduced here as to what it could be. I think what we can say is this has to have 2 high digits on it and 1 low digit. Because we can't have 2 low digits and 1 high digit, because we can't have a 4 and we can't have a 5 as our mid. So if we were to have 2 lows and a high, you're looking at 2 plus 3 would be the absolute maximum you can do, which equals 5. And you'd have to put a 10 in there somewhere, so that doesn't work. So we know that there's 2 highs in here, there's 2 highs here, so we've got all of our highs. There's 1 low in here, we've got 2 lows here, so this is a low digit, so it has to be a 1. Because that's the only thing left in this row. Now that gives us a 6, 7, 9 triple in this region. Now, of course, this can't ever be a 9 because this you can never get higher than that here. This can't ever be a 6 then, because that would force this to be a 7, and 6 is lower than a 7. So little bits of information that are working, which is nice. So we've got 2 high digits here. Can we reduce those down in any way? Because obviously the two lowest high digits are 6 and 7. That gets us up to 13 already. So then you have to put in a 2. We can't go any higher because we can't put in a 1. So these just have to be 2, 6, 7. Nothing else will work. If you try to do 6, 8, you're at 14. You have to put a 1 in there, and that breaks the puzzle. So this is 2, 6, 7. So this is not a 2, which means these are 8 and 9. If that's an 8, 9, this is not a 9. The 8s and 9s, of course, don't do much with these guys, but we can look at this 1 here and say this is a 2, and this is a 1. And that's no longer possible to be a 2, and that 1 actually just says this is a 3. And that, of course, sits perfectly fine with this being an 8, 9. Okay, now we know this 3 is looking into this guy, so one of these is a 3. Do we know anything else about any of these? I don't think we do. We can say where our 6s and 7s go here, though, because these have to be 6 and 7, because this is a 2, 6, 7 looking into this. So there has to be a 1 in here somewhere. The other digit is going to be whatever is left over again from our 4, 5, 9s. And we've got a 6, 7, 8, 9, and a 3. There has to be a 1 and a 2 in here somewhere. The other digit is from 4 or 5. I was hoping that might give us some more clarity on this guy. Not sure that it does. Because this could be a 1, this could be a 5, this could be a 2, this could be a 4, equal to 6. There are possibilities still left there to do. All right, and we don't know where the 4 necessarily goes here, but we do know we have an x-wing on 3s, so we can say none of these are 3s. We also know there has to be a 5 up here somewhere, because it can't be in any of these, and it can't be there. And it can't go in a German whisper. So again, we're looking at, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We need to find the last place for the 4. And the 9 in this row. So I wonder if we could look at this and say, is there any way to determine which ones are high and which ones are low here? I'm not seeing how we can, although I did just see an 8-9 pair here. What about this guy? Because of that 8-9 pair, that's going to reduce what this can be. And how far down can we go? 4 would be the lowest, but we can't afford it because of that. So this is down to 5, 6, or 7. And I was hoping that would do a bit more for us. Because we know we have to get some semi-low digits into here. But I don't think we have quite enough, because this could be a 5, these could be 2 and 3. This could be a 1 or a 4, and this could be essentially anything. So we're getting little bits and pieces here as we kind of move through this thing. So I've got to find now the next place to look. And where is that going to be? Why is there a... oh, I just pencil marked that. It should have just been gone. That's why. So actually we know that there's a 3. And that's probably what messed me up. I wasn't paying enough attention. I thought this was just a straight up X-Wing, but it's actually even more useful because the 3 has to go in one of these 2 and it's pointing here. So this ends up being a 3. 4, again, we don't quite know where the 4 will go because we can't say that there's necessarily a 4 on this guy. But maybe there's some way we can deduce that. Now, we know one of these has to be a 3 because of these guys. And again, one of these has to be a 1. Maybe there's something more we can do with this guy now that we have some information in the area. I don't think there is, because there's not quite enough looking at it. We don't have anything really set in stone up here. Like if this was a 1-2 pair, we could say this is not a 1-2, obviously. Something along those lines, but in this instance, that isn't set yet. Well, even like the 8s, I mean, we know there's an 8 in here, but The 8 could still technically go here with the 1 to get a 9. This could still be an 8 because this could be a 9. Is there something more about this one? It can't be 1 or 2. Could be a 3, a 4, a 5. It cannot be 6 or 7. And it could be 8. So no, that's not quite picking anything up either, is it? Okay. I saw the 6, 7 here previously as well, but it doesn't, again, seem to really do much at the moment. This Renban has too many options on it for what it could be. Does 5 do anything? No, not really. It's really close to doing it, but not quite. Okay, come on. Where do we look? Where do we look? I feel like these lower clues are here to come in later. It's just a feeling. Because I can't see how we can really do much with them. I mean, this 9 or 11 clue, there's not a ton of ways to make 11, but there's enough of them where it's, I mean, there's a lot of ways to make an 11. So, and then our high-low type of situations really more or less only apply to the German whispers. All right. Do seem to be sticking a little bit here now. So where, oh where? Well, I guess, okay, well, I guess we can use the 4 here. To me, it wasn't quite obvious, but we know there has to be a 4 in one of these. There has to be a 4 in one of these. So that does create an X-wing. So then none of these can be 4. So one of these is. So we know that these are 3, 4, and 5. This one's not a 5. So we know this is a low digit. And this goes back up to high, then low. What can this one be? It can't be 3 or 4, and it can't be 2. So it just has to be 1. It's the only thing that'll work here. Now this can't be 1. So this can't be 8 anymore. All right, that's a little bit of movement. Now we can say this can't be a 1, 2 because of these guys, not because of something up here. That's about as far as we can reduce it, I think. We can also say, I guess it can't be a 2, 4 because we can't put a 2 here or here. So it's either looking at being a 4, 8 or a 3, 6. This can't be 3 or 4. Therefore, this can't be 6 or 8. So kind of a similar situation to what we did up here. And then hopefully there's something else that's going to point here to tell us something further that we can do. Again, this thing could be almost anything. It can't be a 9, but it can be, well, it can't be 6. Okay, there it is then. Okay, I didn't take it quite far enough. Because of this marking of a 9, this can't be a 9. Well, this also can't be a 6 because you can't put 1s in here. It can't be a 7 because this has to go with a 1 and either a 3 or a 4. So this has to be 8, which means this has to be 3. Get rid of those. And now we have a 3 here with a 4 or 5 pair, which is going to tell us that this is just a 9. Which means this is an 8. Okay, there we go. That's the waterfall I was hoping to get to here. So these can't be a 5. They're not 1, 3, 5. It's a 1, 3, 4. This is not a 1 because of this one now down here. So this is our 1. Let's get rid of all these unnecessary markings now. So we know this is a 5, 9 pair. And looking up to make sure there wasn't anything else I could do there. Can't quite at the moment. Okay, we got something going. Okay, the 4 now. 4 can't go here, it has to go here. We need to put a 5 somewhere. It has to go in here, but it can't go there, so it goes here. We've also got a 6 and a 7. They are not determined just yet. But this is good. It's getting us places now. We have to have 2 in one of these. And the other one is either a 6 or a 7. What about down here? Okay, this 8 here. Let's give it the 6 and the 3 treatment, which means that's a 7, that's a 6. This has to be our 2, 8 now. Or not 2, 8, 2, 7. That's what I meant to say. Now we have everything except for this digit. This is 9, so this is not 9. We're going to chip away now. This forces this to be 9. And can we now do anything with this arrow because we've reduced some things on what it can be? What can this, let's just look at these guys individually. What can this be? It can't be 1, it could be 2, it can't be 3, it could be 4, or it can't be 5. So if this was a 5, this would have to be a 1 or a 2, but they both go here. So this is just a 2 or a 4. If this is a 2 or a 4, that means this is either a 4, well, it can't be a 2 because the 2's over here or and down here. So it's either 2, 4 to make 6, or it's 2, 5 to make 7, or it's 4, 3 to make 7. Those seem to be the options. That's kind of, again, it's getting very cloudy up there in terms of our pencil markings. So let's see what all these other things have done for us. Okay, the 3 now does get us this one. Again, scanning with all this stuff going on can be a little bit difficult, but we'll get it figured out. This either has to be a 4 or a 2. I don't see anything that says it can't be either one of those at the moment. Is there anything special about this digit? Doesn't appear to be. It's either 2, oh wait, this 8, let's go back and continue. This is 9 and 8. This can't be a 6. This can't be a 7. Little bits of cleanup here that I just didn't get back to yet. So this can't be a 6. So this is 2, 5, or 7. This is 5 or 7. The 5 will still work because this could be 2, this could be 1. What are the options here? Maybe this is some use here as well. I said it could be 1, it could be 2, can't be 3, 4, 5, but it could be 6 as well. Okay. Not a problemo. And now that let's go back and look at Sudoku again, because it seems to be something that can help here. Instead of trying to randomly look around the puzzle, let's try to be a bit more focused, perhaps. What about those 3s? Yeah, the 3s are good. This is a 3. This is not a 3. So if this is a 3, this cannot be a 6 anymore. So this is 7. This is 4. This is 6. This is not 4. That 4 gives us the 5 over here that we've been looking for. This is no longer a 5, so it's down to our 4-9 pair. And no, I thought that 4 might stick further into this, but it doesn't yet. We've got our 1-2 pair over here. Clean that up. 3, 4, so this is a 5-8 pair. So we got 5-8, 2, 6, 7. These have to be from 1, 4, and 9. Okay. Make sure I'm doing my scanning here. We've got to be getting close to starting to get into these digits now. Would have to think, or these clues, I should say. The Renban here, this killer cage, this guy, and this guy. So what can we start getting into some of these? Because there is quite a reduction here. So this could be a 4, could be a 6, a 7, or a 9. Those are the options. Let's see how they might affect this. This is a 9. This could be a 2, which seems to work. This is a 7. This could be a 4. These are all going to work, aren't they? That's a 6. This could be a 5. And if that's a 4, this is a 7. Yeah, those are all still working. Well, no, actually not. 2-5. Let's get rid of the 2-5 pair. And then we can get rid of the 9 and the 6. So this actually ends up being a 4-7 pair. So that's good. It did work out. I didn't quite think it would at first, but thanks to you, it has. So this has to then therefore be a 5, which means this is 2, which means this is 1. Good, good, good. There, it is flowing. It's just taking me a second to get to it and find it. This is 7. This is 6. This is 2. This is all beautiful. These 2 digits must be from 8 and something. 8 and 6. 6 and 8. These have to be from 4, 7, and 9. This can't be 7 because it would force this to be a 3. This can't be 4 because it would force this to be a 6. So this is just 9. Let's get rid of that, and let's put a 1 in here because that's what 9 equals 10. That's going to get up here and give us a 2 and a 1. That 2 is going to give us a 7 and a 2. 7 is going to give us a 4 and a 7. Now things are starting to awesome. That 4 comes back up, gives us 5 and 4. That 5 gives us our 8 and 5. Ton of unraveling right there. That was beautiful. Now these guys, they have to be from 7, 8, and 9. This is not 9. This is not 7. So we're going to know now that these can't be 2, 5. These have to be 2, 5. There's a 5 here. So let's put our 2 and our 5 in. And that's going to give us this digit, which is a 6, which is then going to come over here and give us our 8 and our 6. This can't be 8. All right. Now, we're pretty much into the point now where we got to figure out this Renban. So let's see what's going on in this box. What do we have to put in? We have to put a 1 in here somewhere. We have to put a 5 in here somewhere. So 1 and the 5, neither one can go there. So this is a 1, just a 1-5 pair. That's going to mean this is a 7 or a 9 because that's all that's left in the row. We do anything similar in some of these other ones. These have to be from 3, 6, 8, and 9. This is not 3. This can't be 9 because of our Renban. This can't be 9 because of our Renban. So this just becomes a 7, 9, 8, 7. The 8s are out again. So this has to be 7. So therefore this is 6 and 5 and 1. And that should have just blown everything open. Let's hope it does. 3 gives us the 4 and the 3. The 5 gives us the 9 and the 5. That 4 gives us this 2. The 6 here gives us our 7, 6, 7. This is an 8, and this is a 6. So we still haven't quite determined this one. Oh, yes, we have. The 9 here gives us a 4. So this does end up being a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has to be a 1, 9. There's a 1 here, so we go 9, 1. And these are the last two digits. They have to be from 4 and 8. 8 here gives us a 4 and an 8. And there we go. You solved the puzzle. Solution is correct. So that was a great puzzle. Like I said, because of all of so much going on, sometimes it's tough on my eye. I know some of you guys are much better at this stuff than I am, being able to pick off some of these things and how they interact. But beautiful puzzle, a lot going on, but we were able to figure it out and get through it all. So hope you all enjoyed that one. I certainly did, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.